Many people have been saving money for a while, but today they can't seem to trace where the money they've been saving is. They don't have it. Welcome to A Word from the Coach. Last week, we delved deeper into the conversation of wealth creation, and I shared with us in a very detailed and elaborate and clear way how wealth is created and how each one of us can begin to create wealth from where we are with what we have. And I described the model I call the focused wealth creation model that describes how wealth is created through 3 stages. The first stage was the stage of money acquisition and management. The second stage was the stage of money retention, and that is where savings comes in. And then the third stage was the stage of money multiplication. That we work to earn some money, then we choose to retain part of the money or save part of the money. Then we send what we have saved to go and multiply. We plant it because we retained it as seed for multiplication. Right, and I have received a lot of responses from very many of you, and some people have been asking, give us some more savings tips. And in this week's edition of A Word from the Coach, I want to say a bit more about savings. No doubt, savings is a very good tool in the journey of wealth creation. It's a good starting point, because without which then many people don't have something to invest. And therefore we will be making noise about investment, but many people will keep wondering, how do I invest when I cannot even retain a portion of what I'm currently earning? So allow me to very quickly share with us some 8 tips that will help you succeed in your savings journey. Tip number 1, you need to know why you want to save. The reason behind your saving. I am a very big advocate of purpose-driven savings. Purpose-driven savings. I know I also teach something that I call purpose-driven borrowing, but that's a topic for another day. Purpose-driven savings. That behind the things we do in life, there are reasons. And my argument has been, if the reason for you doing something is strong enough, it will keep you doing that thing until you get to achieve it. So if you want to go far with savings, get to know why, get to define why you want to save. The reason for your saving will dictate, for example, the amount that you need to save for you to achieve that particular goal that you want to achieve. The reason for your savings will also dictate how you will behave around it, the kind of discipline you will have, because you know you have a big thing to achieve with your savings. So get to know why you are saving. And different people save for different reasons. There are people, for example, who will be saving for a rainy day. They are putting together what we call an emergency kitty. They are trying to answer themselves the question, what if something goes wrong tomorrow? What will I do? So they want to come up with an emergency kitty. They want to have something on the side, building, so that in the event something were to happen. We all saw what happened to very many people when COVID-19 came. Very many people got stranded. Very many people lost their jobs. Many businesses were affected. And people who had some emergency kitty somewhere had some soft landing for a while, for as much as the emergency kitty could carry them. But they were much better than someone who did not have anything set aside for such a situation. Then we have other people, and it's good for me to remind you here, the language that money speaks. Money speaks one language, that if you save me today, I will save you tomorrow. There are people who are saving to buy a big ticket item. Big ticket items are those items that we cannot spend entire of our income on because they require a lot of money to purchase. Therefore, even if we had a salary or an income that can buy that item, if we used the entire of it to buy the item, then we'll be left stranded. Examples of big ticket items may include a motor vehicle, may include a television set, a refrigerator, whatever it is that you want to buy for your household that is of a higher price compared to your income. That if you were to use your income and buy it once, then a big part of your usual budget would be shaken. So someone can decide to take time and be saving towards that big ticket item. There's another person who will choose to borrow money for the big ticket item. Two of us can be looking forward to owning a big television set in November. Probably when we have some World Cup playing, some Commonwealth Games playing. For strange reasons, some people find their television sets tiny when such activities are happening, and therefore they plan or they decide that they will need to have a bigger television set when that time comes. So two of us can have that goal, but when we currently have, let's call them smaller television sets today. So we both have smaller television sets, but we want to have a big one in November. Two people can do different things. One can be patient and decide to save money monthly. They identify the kind of television set they want, they check the price, and they decide to be saving some money towards it, so that by November they have put aside something enough for that, and then they buy the set. But there's another person who wants the big set, but they don't have the patience, or maybe they don't have the discipline to wait, and they decide to take a loan, to borrow money and buy the set now. It's not that they didn't have a set. They had a television set, but they want the big one today, and therefore they borrow money to repay at an interest and get the television set today. Remember, the aim was November, not now. We are in January, for example. So they needed a television set, yes, but they can't contain themselves until November comes. So they choose to take a loan and get the television set. And by November, both of us will have the television set. One who has saved to buy it in November, one who borrowed money to buy it in January. Both of us will get there. But one of us will get there having used more money because they've been paying interest for the set that they bought earlier on. Big ticket item. There are some people who save money for investment. They decide that I want to retain this much money. When it gets to this point, I will use it to invest in this item. I will use it to start a grocery shop. I will use it to buy shares in the stock market. I will use it to form deposit for my land purchase, and so on and so forth. So you need to define your reason for saving. Number two, you need to plan to save. Include your resolution to save in your budget. When you are planning how you will spend your money, when you are writing your budget and saying, I will use this much to pay rent, I will use this much to do this other thing, make sure you incorporate your desire to save in your budget. If you forget about it, then you will end up allocating your money to every other thing, and then saving will be left behind. That's why we have many people aspiring to save. They have included saving in their New Year resolutions for years on end, but they have never started saving. Number three, start now or continue. If you haven't started, you've just been admiring, you've been wishing, you've been planning, you've been aspiring to save money one day, please begin now. Start now. It's never too late to start doing the right thing. Start now. If you already have started and you're watching this, then please continue. Please continue. And on that continue note, let me also remind you to take a moment and subscribe to this channel. If you love what you are learning here, please like this video, share it with other people, drop us a comment. Let me know which other areas of financial literacy you would want me to talk about. If you have any questions, please ask them. I'll be glad to do a video on them and give you a word from the coach. Number four, very important, save before you spend. Yes, save before you spend. Many of you have heard me say that money refuses to remain to be saved after spending. Very many people behave the way I used to do back in the day, and I would receive money and start spending, and something would tell me that something will remain. So that which will remain is what I will save. Over time, I realized that money refuses to remain to be saved after spending. Please save before you spend. Number 5, protect your savings. Protect your savings. It is one thing to start saving. It's another thing to have the money you've been saving. Sometimes in classroom training, I do ask, how many of us save money? And I get a lot of hands up. Then I ask, how many of us have the money they've been saving? Then you can see the hands beginning to come down. Reason is there are many people who save money, yes, but then they begin to encounter a lot of temptations to break into their savings account. If you choose to save money, you must be very careful where you will save your money. So the choice of where to save your money must be a choice that demonstrates that you want to protect this money that you are saving. Some of us, and this is where self-awareness comes in, you need to know yourself. Some people will save money and they save the money in the house, but they are disciplined enough to stay with the money in the house. But there is some big temptation there, because if something were to happen that required money and they did not have money, they will quickly remember that there is some money that their hand can get to in the house. Therefore, you need to be careful where you will put your money. If you choose to save in a bank account, don't open a normal operations account, a normal checking account. You want to have a proper savings account. Good thing is that every bank has got a dedicated savings account whose features are features that will deter you from accessing money unnecessarily, are features that want to prevent you from using the money for impulse buying. Therefore, you want to have an account, for example, that does not have an ATM card. You want to have an account, for example, that does not have mobile connectivity. Even if they tell you to connect it to your mobile phone, you have the option of saying, no, I do not want. Why so? Because it minimizes the temptation. One day you are passing by a certain street, you see people selling nice shoes, nice clothes, nice shirts. You feel like you should get one, and you don't have money in your pocket. If you had an ATM card, you would quickly rush to the machine and withdraw and then come and spend here, yet you did not plan to spend on that item before. Or if you had the account connected to your mobile phone, you can easily go to mobile banking and withdraw the money to your mobile wallet and spend it. Therefore, to minimize that temptation, and if you know you are that kind of person, then have a dedicated savings account. Refuse to have an ATM card. Refuse to connect the account to your mobile wallet. Protect your savings. And you don't want to save money where you can access. If the urge to get money comes at night, you know for sure you have to wait until tomorrow when the banks open. Maybe by that time, your mind will have processed whatever it is that you wanted to spend your money on, and you'll have changed your mind. Number 6, be consistent. Be consistent. When you choose to save for a particular reason, you know that you need to be putting aside a certain amount of money for a certain period. You then have to be consistent. Consistent, especially in terms of the amount that you're setting aside. If you choose to save 5,000 shillings per month, 1,000 shillings per month, 200 shillings per month, whatever amount you choose to save, make sure that you are consistent with that amount for you to achieve your goal. Remember, we said, if you know the reason for your saving, that reason dictates how much money you need to be setting aside. You are allowed to go beyond the minimum, but going below it will make you not meet your goal in the required time. So, you have to be consistent in terms of amount. You also have to be consistent in terms of frequency. If you choose to be saving money monthly, then resist the temptation, any temptation, for you to be able to skip a certain month. And last week I said Sometimes when you start saving money, there is a temptation that tells you, this month things are a bit tough. Let me skip this month, then next month I will save double. When that temptation comes, refuse it. Resist it. In fact, I said if you must do anything double, then please do double now. Then next time you can be able to skip it. But remember to be consistent. Number 7, invest your savings. Yes, every saving amount can be invested, can be sent to call for more money. Instead of sitting idle on the money, you can allow the money to go out there and call for more money. In other words, where you choose to put your saving. Let's say you are saving for a rainy day. A rainy day hasn't happened. You can be doing something with this money. You can put it in a place that gives you some return on it as you wait for the rainy day. By the time the rainy day comes, your money will have grown a bit faster than if you were just to depend on saving alone. Last week I mentioned that when you save, your money grows arithmetically. It piles on top of each other. And if you missed that video, please take a moment and go through a word from the coach for last week. There is a video there, about 45 or so minutes, 47, where I was talking about the process of wealth creation. It's a video you may want to really watch. Therefore, don't just sit on your money. Don't just stay with money. Send it to go and call for more money. But be careful where you put it. Make sure you put it in a place that agrees with the reason for your saving. If you are saving for a rainy day and you choose to invest that money, put it in a place where if a rainy day were to happen, if an emergency were to strike, you can be able to access your money. But before it happens, the money will be growing, will be earning something. You can put that money in the money market space. There are very good grounds for holding money. You can put that money in interest earning bank accounts, depending on the kind of money we are talking about. You can fix the money. You can put that money in any other short-term avenue that if you needed the money, you can be able to access it. Don't take that money and use it to buy a piece of land. Then you think you have invested your savings. Yes, you have, but you have misinvested. If it was money for a rainy day and a rainy day came, you will be stranded. And lastly, number 8, be disciplined. Be disciplined. If you are not disciplined, you will not be able to succeed in saving. Saving money requires a lot of discipline, and discipline is your ability to suppress diversionary desires. Every time you focus on achieving a bigger and better goal, something comes to divert your focus. Some voices come to get you off track. And those voices many times will be promising you instant gratification. They'll be promising you some enjoyment today. And they are telling you, why should you save for something you will enjoy in December? Why don't you use the money today? And very many people begin to succumb to such voices. You want to be disciplined. You want to learn to say no where no is due. You cannot be saying yes to everything. When your friends call you to go hang out with them when you had not planned, you cannot afford to be saying yes every such time. Otherwise, you will end up breaking into your savings account and using the money for things that actually, when you look back, you want to regret that you spent your money on them. Good people, I hope I have said something that will improve your savings journey, will be able to make you become a better saver, will be able to make you begin to, achieve your financial goals courtesy of saving. Remember, the money you save is the only money you can call yours. Once again, please subscribe to this channel. Like this video if you have enjoyed what you have heard. Share it with other people. Help me to be able to reach out to as many of us as possible. I hope to see you next week, a time and day like this, as I also give you another word from the coach. Thank you so much. You can do better.